Now, our goal in introducing the Cartesian plane was to let ourselves visualize the solutions to equations in two variables. Remember, equations in two variables have tons and tons of solutions. We want to visually think about what those solutions look like. To do that, we use what's called the graph of an equation. The graph of an equation is a picture showing all of the solutions to that equation. I'm going to show you an example in order to explain what this means. What I've drawn for you here is the graph of the equation x plus y equals 3. Now we'll talk in a little bit about how you would come up with that graph. But given this graph, what do we know? What do we see here? What it means to say that this is the graph of x plus y equals 3 is to say that every point on this line has the property that its x-coordinate plus its y-coordinate equals 3. That applies to points that fall on the intersections of grid lines, whose coordinates we can easily read. For example, 1, 2. Note that 1 plus 2 equals 3. And it applies to all of the in-between points, whose coordinates are harder to read. At this point might plausibly be 2.2, 0.8. 2.2 plus 0.8 also equals 3. Also notice, I only drew x values between a bit less than 5 and a bit more than -5. Y values between a bit less than 5 and a bit more than -5. But of course, this line extends beyond the graph. I've put little arrows on the end of the line. We don't necessarily do that all of the time when we're sketching a graph. But when our graph goes up to the edge of the area shown, it's implied to extend if we were to draw our axes longer. So what can we do with the graph of an equation? Well, first, the graph should be part of your picture of what solutions to equations look like. We'll use the graph when we meet more complicated equations to understand how the equation is behaving. Second, more practically, given the graph of an equation, we can read off as many solutions as we want. So for example, suppose that we have the graph of y equals 2/3 x minus 3. We can use this picture to read off some solutions of this equation. Looking at this picture, I can easily see that this point, x is 0, y is -3, is a solution. This point, x is 3, y is -1. And this point down here, x is -3, y is, let's see. Down here is 3, 4, this must be -5. X is -3, y is -5. These are all solutions to the equation.